Welcome, geometry students, to remote lesson day 2. This is lesson 6, where we're going to be completing the square. So remember to either print out the handout, or you're going to be writing all of the problems. And I had a few questions you don't have to write all these words, but if you're writing it on binder paper, you have to write the actual problems. Anytime you have equations and such, you need to write those down, and then you're going to be writing your notes along with what we're doing here. So in this problem, we're asked to figure out what's missing. So this is a perfect square trinomial. Remember, yesterday's lesson was we said we got the first one squared and the last one squared, and the middle term would be twice their product, the product of the first and the last. So don't forget to put your name and the date on your paper. To do these problems, one of the things we want to recognize is that in front of the x squared, it's a coefficient of 1. There isn't like another number other than 1. In fact, all 4 of these problems, each one of those is 1x squared. That makes completing the square much easier to do. So long as in front of the x squared there is a 1, you're going to follow this format to complete the square. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at that middle term. So we're going to look at problem number 1, and it says 10x. I'm just looking at the number 10, and I'm thinking that that 10 happens to be twice something else, or 2 times b. And what's going to go in this box, in this little square here, where we're going to complete this square, is that's going to be b squared. So I'm saying to myself, 2 times what is 10? Well, that would be 5. So what goes in this box would be 5 squared, which is 25. In the next problem, problem number 2, we have 16. And I say 2 times what is 16? Well, that would be 8. Now, this is negative 8 because this is actually negative 16. So this is negative 8. When we square it, it will be positive. So what's going to go in the box right here is negative 8 squared, which is 64. So we have 64 in the box. In the third problem, we have positive 40. So I'm saying 2 times what is 40? Well, that would be 2 times 20. So in the box, what goes in here is b squared. Remember, we're always putting the b squared. So I'm going to take this 20 and square it, and I have 400. In the last one on this page, I'm looking at 5. All these other ones were nice and easy because they were all even numbers. And so my b was half of each of those. Well, it's the same thing here, that my b is going to be half of 5. Because 2 times 5 halves gives me 5. So this is what my b is. My b is 5 halves. What goes in the box is 5 halves squared. Well, 5 halves squared happens to be 25 fourths. So now we have completed all of these. Now what we've got left in each one of these problems are perfect square trinomials. Perfect square trinomials because we have the first one squared and the last one squared and twice their product in the middle for each and every one of these. This lends ourselves really easy to if we wanted to factor. So if we want to factor a perfect square trinomial where the number in front of x squared is 1, then the middle term is, we just refer to that as 2b, and the last term is b squared, where the factorization is x plus the b, whatever it is that was being doubled in the middle, and then quantity squared, and that's how we factor it. So looking at problem number 1, and you should be writing this in your notes and on your note sheet here. If I wanted to factor x squared plus 10x plus 25, I'm thinking about, wait, this was this problem. We have the b. The b is 5. So to factor this, we're just going to have x plus 5 quantity squared. We'll do problem number 2 as well. In problem number 2, we had x squared minus 16 plus 64. Half of this negative 16 is negative 8, so that was what our b was, and so we have x plus negative 8 quantity squared. This is a little bit clunky the way writing it, adding a negative, so to finish it up, we just write that as subtraction, and this would be the final answer to the problem. If I was asking you to factor this perfect square trinomial, you would have x minus 8 quantity squared. Okay. For the next page of notes, here we are. We're going to be doing some more completing the square process. And this one we have the equation in its general format. So we have both the x squared and the y squared in the beginning. Then we have x's and y's. Then we have a number and it equals 0. And it says Elena wants to find the center and the radius of the circle, meaning she wants to write it in that special x minus h format. So she starts doing this, and we say, well, what did she do here? What's different between the way she wrote it here and the way it was originally written? Well, we notice that the x's are now together. We've got x squared minus 6x, and here we've got the y squared and the minus 20y. So Elena decided to put her x's together and her y's together. She also subtracted the 105. So let's see, the equal sign is here now. So instead of the 105 here, so this is negative 105. And then what happened in the next step? So step 2. Well, what's different in this blue box than you have here? Well, we can see that, oh, she's added 9. That wasn't there before. It just said x squared minus 6x. Now it says plus 9. But you can't just go around putting a plus 9 on the left-hand side. If you're going to do that, you have to put it also on the right-hand side, which is what she did. And then also with the y's, she added 100. She completed the square. She was looking at these and saying, oh, I'm going to complete these squares. So she added 100 on the left-hand side, so she had to add 100 on the right-hand side. Again, I want to remind you, why did she do that? Well, this is that same thing that we were doing on the previous page, where she was looking at this and the middle term being something that was doubled, and that would have been negative 3, and negative 3 squared is 9. So she completed this perfect square trinomial. She completed the square. And in this group, she also completed the square because she looked at half of negative 20 was 10, negative 10, and negative 10 squared is positive 100. So that's why she added these that are in the boxes. In this next step, she I don't really see a whole lot different in this step and this step, except that there's a 4 on this side, because what she did is it looks like she just combined all of those terms. So the question then is we're going to fill in and write in all those things we just said. So what did she do? She rearranged the x's together and the y's together. And then why did Elena add the 9 and the 100? Well, she needed to add the 9 to complete the square for the x's, and she needed to add 100 to complete the y's for this perfect square trinomial. And why did she add the 9 and the 10 to the other side? Because to keep an equation balanced, you have to add the same thing to both sides of an equation. You have to subtract from both sides of it. You have to always do the same thing to both sides. So she was keeping the equation equivalent or balanced. What should she do next? She's now at this step here. What should she do next? Well, in this blue rectangle, I've got x squared minus 6x plus 9, a perfect square trinomial. So she could factor it. So if she factored into binomials squared, she would have the general, the standard form of an equation of a circle. And she would end up with x minus 3 quantity squared plus y minus 10 quantity squared equals, and over here it says 4, but we want to write that as something squared. So she factored the x squared minus 6x plus 9, and she factored the x squared minus 20y plus 100, and also factored the 4 so that it was something squared. The reason to do that was to find the center and the radius of the circle. When it's in this format, we say, oh, what are we subtracting from the x? 3. That's why it's the center. What are we subtracting from the y? 10. And that's why it's the other part of the center. And the radius is what is it equal? What is the square root of the thing that it equals? Now, it equaled 4, and the square root is this 2. They ask us to graph it, so we're going to see the next page. And I have a piece of graph paper. You'll need a piece of graph paper to do that. When they say graph something, you need graph paper. So I graphed the paper. I made a mark on here that's saying this is 10, and I'm saying this is 2, and it said the center was 2, 10, so I put the center right there. So the radius was 2, so I went over 2 units to the right, I went 2 units to the left, I went 2 units up and 2 units down, and then you try to draw a circle. If you had a compass at home, you could do that, or else just try to do your best, because I'm on a writing program here. I can make it draw a circle for me, so I drew a nice neat circle that has the center 2, 10 and a radius of 2. All right. In these last two problems, it says we've got this problem right here, and it's saying, okay, I want to find the center and the radius. So we're doing exactly what Elena did, because that's why it says your turn. Well, we have x squared and negative 2x, and so let's write those together. So we do. And then we have the y's. We have a y squared and positive 4y, so we're going to write those together. And now we have to figure out, we have to throw the negative 4 to the other side, meaning we add 4 to both sides. You don't just throw it over, so you're adding 4 to both sides of the equation, and that gets us to equal 4. We're trying to figure out what we would add to complete this to make a perfect square trinomial. So what goes in this box? Well, we take half of negative 2, which is negative 1, and we square it, and we get positive 1. But if we put positive 1 on the left side, we have to put positive 1 also on the right side. Now we're going to look at this other one that we want to make a perfect square trinomial, and we want to know what to put in this box. We take half of 4, which is 2, square it, and that equals 4. So if we added 4 to the left, we have to add 4 to the right. And now we're able to take this perfect square trinomial, and what we squared, which was negative 1, is going to help us write that is x minus 1 quantity squared. And here what we have this, and we got positive 2, or I could say, what did I square? I squared positive 2. And so we have, for that one, we have y plus 2 quantity squared. On the far right, 4 plus 1 plus 4 is 9. I want to write that as something squared. Well, 9 happens to be 3 squared. This tells me that what am I subtracting from x? I'm subtracting 1. The other thing we need to know is what are we subtracting from y? Well, we're not subtracting 2, we're subtracting negative 2. So our center is 1, negative 2, and has a radius of 3, and then we graph it. So we have our piece of graph paper. We put our x and y axes, we put our numbers on it, so we make sure we have everything filled out here. There's my center, my radius is 3, I went 1, 2, 3 units, and now I graph a circle with a radius of 3. Those are your notes for this lesson. This is lesson number 6. It was about completing the square to make circle equations of circles, and make sure you have notes, that you keep them in your binder. We will be doing a binder check again when we return. And your homework is a handout that is posted on the website. So either print out the handout or handwrite it on a piece of binder paper and post it to Google Classroom. Take care, be safe, be well.